Apologies for any difficulties there, folks. We are back. We have got some speedrun action for you, courtesy of Realm, who's going to be showing us some Wipeout Omega Collection. Before we get into it, don't know how much you heard of the donation, but we got $21 from Paulister saying 21 deaths, $21 dues. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the event. Save the wait, wrong event. And a sort of surprised face. But Realm, it is all yours. Take it away.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm back. Obviously, you may have seen me before playing Rolled Out about 15-20 minutes ago, and now we're playing Wipeout. This is a game where you fly a ship around and you do races, and it's very very fast. We play using the Physar prototype ship, which is the one I'm selected on now. I'll explain more when we get into the run, but for now, let's give a countdown. Thanks for all the good lucks, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2. 1, go.
Physar prototype.
Best of luck.
So yeah, the Physar prototype. Why do we use the Physar prototype when we're speedrunning? Well, it has a variable top speed, and what that means is that the top speed of the ship changes based on how many boost pads you run over during the course of your lap. So at the moment, you see in the bottom right corner, the white dotted bar is at a 0, and as I run over these boost pads, it goes up by 1 factor, and it goes up to a maximum of 10. That's how my top speed has changed based on the number of boost pads I've run over. If I get hit by a power-up that one of the enemies has, or I bump into a wall, I lose 1, and that's going to go down. So the aim, basically, throughout the course of the lap, is to get up to 10 as quickly as possible by running over as many boost pads as I can. And at the end of each lap, it will reset back to 0, and I have to do all of that over again for the next lap. So the Physar prototype at 10 is much faster than any other ship in terms of its top speed, and it also has very good handling, which is why it's used over a ship that will be faster a lot of the time but has worse handling. Here I'm going to go for a little bit of a shortcut, and yep, I got it. That's only possible if you have the turbo power-up. Obviously, that's going to be our best friend in this. Power-ups can either be used or absorbed in this game. So when I use a power-up, what it does is it will basically just activate whatever the power-up factor is. The only ones you're really going to see me using in this run are the turbo, which obviously gives you a slight boost to your speed, and autopilot, which automatically controls your ship so you can't steer it. But in the same way that a bullet bill in Mario Kart does, it also gives you a change to your top speed as well, which means you can actually go slightly faster when you've got an autopilot active. But I'm only going to do it in places if it's not going to cost me going over a boost pad, because that's going to be more costly in the long run if I don't go over them. Another thing you're going to see me doing straight out the gate is barrel rolling every time I go off a jump. And what the barrel rolls do is they give you another speed boost as soon as you land from a barrel roll. However, they also subtract 15% of your health every time you do a barrel roll. And so the way that you have to gain your health back is by absorbing other power-ups, aka ones that aren't turbos or ones that aren't autopilots some of the time. But like I said, the autopilot, it's basically a decision-making thing at that point. Do I think it's going to be more beneficial to use the autopilot, or would it be more beneficial for me to try and actually take a racing line that I can control and try and hit more boost pads? And most of the time, it's going to be the latter. So yeah, your health will be restored when you absorb power-ups, and it's different the amount that you restore from a power-up. Depending on which power-up it is that you absorb. So I'm pressing circle. This game's on PS5 for the record. Well, it's actually PS4, but I'm playing on PS5. So I'm pressing circle to absorb power-ups, and I'm pressing square to use the power-ups. So here I'm absorbing this autopilot because I can get more boost pads by doing it my way, and also I can do a couple of barrel rolls. Basically, the name of the game is to get as far ahead of the AI as quickly as possible, because if they're close to you, they're gonna absolutely ruin your day. Like, they will fire as many power-ups as you. They fire as many power-ups at you, sorry, as they possibly can. And yeah, it's not going to be a fun time whatsoever. What happened to the iconic Wipeout music? I was discussing this with the host before the run. And I said, unfortunately, a lot of the music in this game, such as artists like The Prodigy, the Chemical Brothers, Swedish House Mafia, Noisia, bands like that, I really strongly suspect that they are probably not going to be DMCA friendly for the ESA stream, and it's not like sometimes on my stream I do tend to play it quite quiet, but I will play it, and probably you'll be able to get away with it, but I'm not sure if you'd be able to get away with it on a stream of this size. So I've turned it off just to protect ESA from DMCA hell.
You're too kind, Realm.
That is okay.
I'm sure there's a playlist on Spotify that people can check out. Well, judging from what I know about the artist, it sounds like a soundtrack that's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, no, lots and lots of electronic artists. So if you're a fan of accidentally absorbed the turbo there, that's a shame. If you're a fan of drum and bass or house music, stuff like that, yeah, I definitely try and check out a run of this game when it's not a marathon, and we don't have to turn the music off. Didn't even think of that when you ran it at GDQ hotfix. Yeah, I literally, it was only when a Swedish House Mafia song came on as I was practicing before my run that I was like, oh, hold on a minute, this is very got 100 million plays on Spotify, and yeah, I thought it was probably for the best if I turned it off. Like I said, it's not guaranteed that it's actually gonna, it might be DMCA friendly. I don't know, but I don't want to run the risk with how high profile a lot of the artists in this game are. I figured this is the safer bet. So yeah, unfortunately, no music.
That seems sort of like the pinnacle of speedrunning, thinking on the fly, making sure that we're safe from.
We were actually talking about this when I was streaming earlier. I was talking to my chat about improvising and doing things on the fly, and I was saying that it's one of my biggest strengths when it comes to speedrunning, which hopefully I'll be able to showcase at some point in this run, perhaps if something doesn't go quite according to plan, and you'll see me just trying to get back from that as quickly as I possibly can. So far this hasn't been massively fast, but it's very much a you play as well as you can, and then hope for the best that you're not going to have terrible RNG, and RNG has not been particularly kind to me on this track in terms of how many boosts it's given me. Basically, the aim is to run over the green power-up pads. They're called defensive power-ups in the lore, I believe. And that can be anything that's going to attack people behind you, shield you from people behind you, or help you get further away from people behind you, like an autopilot or a turbo, which are the things that I'm aiming for more than anything else. So yeah, basically I just want to get as many turbos by running over as many of the green defensive power-up pads as I can. So yeah, that was Rockway Stadium. That's the second of 10 tracks in this game. I guess I haven't explained what 2048 All Tracks actually is, so I'll do that now. So we're running. I just clicked return to menu in the wrong category. That's crushing, but that's fine. We can go back, and that'll be fine. That was a menuing mistake in a category that doesn't have menu in it. So yeah, I'll briefly explain what the category is. So we play through all 10 tracks which are featured in the 2048 campaign in this game, in tournament mode, back to back to back. Unfortunately, I've accidentally just exited, so now we're only playing through 8 of them, but you already saw me do the first 2 of them, so that's not a problem whatsoever. A little bit of my thinking on the fly there, in case you guys were wondering. Showed up a lot sooner than I was anticipating it would. But yeah, so the 2048 campaign in this game is basically a remastered version of I believe it's a PS Vita game called WipEout 2048, in WipEout Omega Collection, and then WipEout HD is also remastered in the same game, which is yeah, another game in the WipEout series, and they've both been remastered for PS4 and featured in this game. Today you're only going to see me doing 2048, and the reason for that is because WipEout HD, at least I can't speak for the original, but the remaster is a lot worse. It's a lot more RNG hell. It's a lot more, if you can't basically break away from your opponents immediately, even on the lowest difficulty, you're just going to be stuck getting blasted by power-ups for the entire race, and it's not negotiable. it's really hard to pass people because the tracks are a lot narrower as well than they are in this category. And so I play this one because it's a lot more fun. And then another thing that's important to note about this category is speed classes. And there are 4 different speed classes of ship, which are, I guess, similar to... I can't remember the word for it now, but basically the CCs. Is it aspiration? Is that the correct word? I'm not quite sure. But the CCs in a Mario Kart game, you might have 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, and then 200cc. And in this game, you've got C class, B class, A class, and A plus class. And we're playing this on A class because it actually, believe it or not, is faster than A plus class. And the reason for that is twofold. The first one is a minor thing, which is that you're not traveling quite as fast, so you can take a few more of the skips and optimal lines on A class, whereas they're not really viable because you're just carrying too much speed on A plus class. And the second one is when you're doing tournament mode, the speed class that you choose is actually variable depending. The speed class that you choose actually determines the lap counter in each of the races that you do. And so, if I'm not mistaken, I believe when you're doing a C-class run, the tracks give you 3 laps each. When you're doing a B-class, it's 4 laps. When you're doing A-class, it's 5. And then when you're doing A-plus class, it's 6. And doing 6 laps of all tracks on A-plus class speed is actually not faster than doing 5 laps on A-class speed. That extra lap is slower. Even though the ship travels slightly faster. It's 4, 4, 5, 6? Okay, my apologies. But I do believe that, therefore, B class isn't faster than A class, just because the strats that you can get away with on A class are much more... They're much different to what you can do on B class. Like, going from B class to A class is a much bigger jump than going A class to A plus class. And whilst A plus class, yeah, it's harder to control. It's also just like, it's a lot less rewarding, it feels like, because you can't take so many of these optimal lines that I'm talking about and do them consistently. Like, I'll show you one on track number 5, I believe it is, where we do a shortcut, which just is not faster on A plus class. So yeah, this is Capital Reach, which is the longest category. Longest track in this category, clocking in at about 4 minutes, a little over 4 minutes. Most tracks usually fall within 3 to 3.5 minutes. And yeah, like Nez in chat is saying right now, sorry, I mean Nez underscore in the chat is saying right now, it is significantly harder to control your ship on A plus class. There's another thing which I will briefly explain, and I will try to demonstrate at the next possible convenience, and that's a thing called pitching. And basically what that is that you can use, when you're in the air, you can use up and down on the D-pad, or I guess up and down on the joystick, but I use D-pad to steer, so that's just my personal preference. But you can steer your ship up and down, and it will change the angle of your ship when you're in mid-air. And what that does, if you see me do it here, is it basically allows you to change the angle that your ship is approaching jumps at. And when we're going really, really fast in the Physar prototype in a couple places here, if we just were to take the usual jump angle, we would have too much height and we'd crash into barriers in certain places. And so you have to change your ship's pitch in order to make sure that you basically travel underneath those barriers. There's one on the next circuit which I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's a change in pitch that you have to do every single lap. Otherwise you're gonna hit the start finish line. And there's a couple places where you have to do something similar to that. But on A plus class, basically that's every single time you leave the ground. You just have to have absolutely perfect control over your ship's pitch at all times. and if you fail, you're probably going to fly out of the map, or crash into a wall, or you're just going to be held up massively. And that's another reason why A+ class is a lot harder. It requires basically complete mastery over this game to even be able to do it somewhat fast. I guess now is a pretty good time to give a shout out to one of the 3 runners of this category, a speedrunner called Foden44, who was in the chat for my rolled out run earlier. I assume he's probably sticking around for my my WipEout run now. Yeah, he's been doing some A+ class runs recently, and they're pretty crazy. If anyone else has seen any of them, they're pretty crazy to watch. And then yeah, I guess I'll give a quick shout out whilst I'm doing this as well to Nez_ in the chat, who is the other one of the 3 people who are currently running this category. If you wanna get into this category, I definitely recommend it though. It's a lot more rewarding, a lot more fun, and a lot less silly than doing the career mode categories, in my opinion. But yeah, definitely shoot me or Foden or Nez, one of us, a DM if you're interested in getting into these games, because they definitely, I'd like to see the community grow in size a little bit, just because of how good I think the runs actually are. So that's the end of the 4th of the 10 tracks. Is there no minimap in this game? I don't think so. Either that or I've got it turned off. But you know, we don't need minimaps where we're going. We're too good for that. There isn't one. Yeah, no, I didn't think there was, but I wasn't sure if that was just me forgetting that there was one, and I had it turned off. But yeah, I think the main issue with the career mode speedruns in this game versus tournament mode, which is what I'm doing at present, is that it requires you to do a number of events in it called combat. Which is, yeah, that's a good point actually. When would I ever have the time to look at the minimap in a run like this? Anyway, what was I saying? There's a mode in this game called combat, which is basically, it's essentially an auto scroller, I suppose, because you have a certain time limit to do as much damage to your opponents as possible using offensive power-ups, and they basically, the way that those work is you're scored based on how much damage you do to your opponents, and you get higher scores if you actually wipe them out, aka scoring a wipeout, said the name of the game. And then yeah, the reason why those suck is because they're on a timer rather than like hit this score as quickly as possible. If it was aiming to hit the score as quickly as possible, it would be a lot better, I think. But because it's effectively an auto-scroller, it kind of ruins the whole category, in my opinion. So here you see I slightly pitch my ship down there as I come off the exit ramp, and that makes me not hit the barrier, the start-finish line at the start of the next lap, which I would do if I travelled in a straight line. And I can actually show you that on the final lap, because if you hit the finish line, it counts as you having finished the lap. So I'll show you what that looks like on lap 5 if I remember. Here right now, what I'm travelling through is the shortcut. That's the one I was talking about earlier when I was talking about shortcuts that aren't possible on A+ class. That one, you can take it on A+ class, but because you have to change your ships, like, you have to basically... I guess I should probably explain air braking before I explain how it works. So air braking is, you have 2 brakes on your car. You have the left air brake and the right air brake. And what those do is they slow your ship down, but only in a... Oh, there you go. You saw what I was talking about, but on the wrong lap. They slow your ship down, but only on one side of the ship. I think they're rearward brakes. And yeah, they will slow your ship down, but only on the side of the ship that you activate. So when I press L1, like here, it's going to slow my ship down, but only on the left side. And then when I press R1, it's going to slow my ship down, but only on the right side. And you basically use the air brakes to steer yourself around the corners. I never let go of the accelerator, ever, because you simply don't need to. The air brakes are enough to sort of give you give you motion around a corner. And the thing I was trying to explain about the A+ class, why that shortcut's not faster, is because the amount that you have to yank the air brake in order to get round without crashing into the wall, it's just faster to go the long way round. Because the long way round is just one like 90-degree right-hander, and that's it. It's like a fast right-hander as well. And yeah, no, I definitely would agree with the sentiment that this is PlayStation's answer to F-Zero. Very similar to F-Zero, but slightly different mechanics. Maybe slightly easier to get into in terms of speed tech. There's no snaking or anything like that. It's just barrel rolls and obviously taking optimal racing lines, stuff like that. Metro Park, it has one cool shortcut in it, which is somewhat difficult to hit sometimes, but apart from that, it isn't too difficult. It's probably one of the more tame tracks in the run. So yeah, if you have anything that you want to read right now, now might be a good time on this track.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Well done on the run so far. We have got some love from Nico Hart with $25 saying, "Good luck, Realm. Laning rolled out, now time to go fast."
Indeed.
Going fast indeed, everybody. This is UKSG, the summer of 2021 event. We do these quarterly, and we'd usually be doing them in Glasgow, Scotland, but due to the situation with COVID-19, we're bringing you 3 days of exciting speed runs from the comfort of our own homes to yours. So please do stick around. We also do have a couple of incentives going on at the moment. The duck racing for Shenmue 2, brought to us by our very own Digital Duck, is currently raising money for a blindfold race for the, I believe, Izumi, which 25 of Nico Hart's dollars have gone towards. That needs $200, and we're at $46 at the moment. So if you've got a little bit to spare and you want to put it towards Shenmue 2, then definitely worth having a look at that. But yes, good luck with the rest.
Thank you so much. No, awesome cause that you're raising money for. Definitely something that you guys should get your donations in for. You may have noticed I made a face like I ate something incredibly sour a moment ago, and that's because I activated a boost right here, and I do that so often during my runs, and I know that I'm going to hit the thing even if I immediately pitch down after doing it, and it just isn't. It isn't something I should ever do. I know it's not right, and yeah, it just made me a little bit frustrated. But yeah, one thing I was going to say when Little Scampy in the chat posted a thing about doing their listening to the WipEout OST on Spotify. If you guys have access to listening to the WipEout OST, perhaps put it on quietly in the background, because we can't stream it, unfortunately. And yeah, Nez already answered your question all into space, but I'll answer it on stream for anyone that's sort of lurking. They asked, is there a difference between PS4 and PS5? And the answer is load times. Believe it or not, PS4 SSD is actually faster than PS5, despite the fact that the PS5 has a built-in SSD. So Nez and Foden, who are two of the runners I mentioned earlier, they both run this game on PS4. PS4 on the SSD, and then I'm running this game on PS5 because
just flexing on us with the PS5.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Well, you should, indeed.
So yeah, I'm one of the lucky people camping out all those live streams that send you an alert when they have stock available. I really try-harded getting that PS5. And yeah, so this is Sol, probably the hardest level in the run, in terms of there aren't any walls, and if you make a minor mistake, you're just going to fall off and lose 5 seconds. This is probably the biggest run killer for me at the moment, simply because not only are there no walls, but because there are no walls, it means that there's also a lot more skips on a level like this than there are on levels with walls, because you can just throw yourself off the track and land somewhere else, like what you see me do right here. That's the only skip that I'm doing here. There is one which is slightly faster. I might actually showcase it once. It's not really faster when you do it with the 5-star prototype because of the amount of boost pads that you skip in doing it. You have to basically be absolutely perfect in order to go faster than you would normally go. So yeah, apart from that one fall off right at the start, this has been it's been pretty good so far. So I'll show you how the skip usually looks. You take a slightly wider line out here and then go to the right of that sign, and then you try and land just after the jump. And then if I use my turbo, but the problem is now is that I only have 4 boost pads. If you look down in the bottom right corner, as I mentioned earlier, with the ship's variable top speed. Yeah, I've only got 5 of those throughout the course of the whole lap, whereas usually, if I do it my way, I get 9, and it's about the same in terms of speed, whether you do the big skip or the short skip. The lap time takes about the same amount of time. The short skip is much easier, and so you only do the big skip when you're trying to be a bit swag, because the big skip is very easy to mess up. And yeah, I really downplayed how good it was that I actually got it first try, having not done it for several weeks at this point, because we realised that it's probably just better to do the short skip. So yeah, like I said before, every track in this game, it's basically just a game of how many turbos can you get. So getting one there, very lucky. There's a bit of a meme in the community that I'm cheating and using RNG manipulation, a la our good friend who is a Minecraft YouTuber and did a similar thing in a speedrun, because the other 2 runners of this game have noted that I seem to get turbos a lot more often than they do. Which I think is just because I run over a lot more defensive power-up pads than they do, but perhaps they're onto something. Perhaps I am actually, in fact, an illegitimate speedrunner, but you'll never know. Maybe I just accidentally left a mod on in this game and won't realise for 7 months.
See, it seems like it can happen to anyone.
It could happen to anyone. Yeah. Unity Square. This is track number 8 of 10. I know it said 6 of 8 at the top, but that's if you weren't tuned in at the time, I made a menuing error. Yeah, it's because of the console I'm playing on. PS5 has higher drop rates. They added a patch that give you higher turbo drop rates on PS5. Yeah, you got me, Jack of Hearts. If I make nothing but jokes about it, no one will ever suspect me. It's like, I'm so confident. So yeah, this track is pretty chaotic. The name of the game, you just have to try and run over as many of these boost pads which are really close together. And it's such a hard line to take that it is... You will run into walls a lot of the time, but this is one of the tracks why people say I'm turbo hacking, because look, I just got 3 in a row there. Like, there are what, 6 different power-ups I think that you can get from the defensive power-ups, and I just got 3 turbos in a row. How could I not be cheating? The new Fast and Furious game looks good. Yo, it genuinely wouldn't even surprise me if they made a Fast and Furious game where they're in like flying hover cars. Or a Fast and Furious film, I should say, where they're in flying hover cars. They've probably already done it. I stopped watching at 6.
There, I mentioned the apparently there were thoughts of combining I think it was the Jurassic World cinematic universe with Fast and Furious. Now that's something that I would like to see. That would be very amusing.
What, are they going to put dinosaurs in the cars? That would be so
I
cool.
mean,
oh my god. No, I want that
It's
now.
what we want to see.
Yeah,
it's
no,
certainly what we want to see.
Like you joke maybe, but that is genuinely what I want to see. I want to see a dinosaur just eat Vin Diesel. That's what I'm looking forward to.
People are making fun of the whole family aspect of Fast and Furious, and somebody said Vin Diesel will find out that he's related to some dinosaur and
what is a better example of a family than a family of 700 different extant species?
Exactly.
Not so much furious. I mean, just wait for me to crash into a wall, then you'll see the furious. Don't worry, it's coming. I keep absorbing turbos by accident, but it's all good. Because I just keep getting more of them, because I'm hacking. It's absolutely fine. Not even a concern.
I'm speedy with it. Do you mind if we, well, would now be a good time for me to mention a little bit about Crisis?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Say as much as you want.
All right, brilliant. So everybody, as you know, we are raising money to support Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 100% of your donations will be supporting Crisis. A little more about what they do. They offer housing, research and campaigning, and they have a strong path to end homelessness. It's a big task, but we are here to help, and all of your money will be going towards it. So keep those donations coming in. We've still got the we've got some duck racing and potentially blindfold duck racing later on in the event. So we've got three days of fast-paced action and a whole load of incentives, whole load of stuff that you can put your money towards. So everybody keep an eye out and keep the donations rolling in.
This first lap has been absolutely atrocious so far. I just hitting everything, all the walls, everything. I wanted to ask actually, duck racing, right? Is that like that thing where you take like two like ducklings and you put them on like a constructed track and then you like bet on which one you think's gonna win? And you have the thing where like the people are like massively like cheering them on, like come on number 2 or whatever. They kind of like the snail races and stuff like that. Is it similar to that?
Honestly, I'm afraid I don't know, but it's definitely worth checking out, everybody.
I think it's going to be hype regardless. Any game that has duck and also racing in the title is probably going to be a good one.
Yeah, folks, you can put those 2 and 2 together, and and especially, I mean, it's from Digital Duck. Digital Duck is going to be doing it for us. It's a match made in heaven.
That is, I mean, do they run that game because their username is Digital Duck, or is their username Digital Duck because of that game, or is it just a coincidence? I have so many questions. I actually might have to tune into this run now because I have more questions that need answering.
Well, everybody stick around because we've got this weekend, and I believe the run that incentive is for is happening early on tomorrow. So keep an eye out, keep your eyes peeled. We've also got ESA events happening soon, and we're very thankful for ESA letting us use their Twitch channel and some of their resources as well. So ESA Summer 2021 is going to be coming around on the 24th, the 31st of July. Some more fast-paced action coming to you courtesy of this channel.
I'm really sorry, Slurbosaurus. We had this discussion earlier. I want to hear Noisier as much as you do, trust me. Outer Edges, 5 out of 5 album. But yeah, unfortunately, because of DMCA troubles, I was a bit concerned, and so I didn't turn on the soundtrack to this game. But yeah, that's for all the drum and bass heads in chat. If you haven't heard the album Outer Edges by Noisier, listen to it. It's a very good album, one of my favorites of all time. So yeah, this is a track which has undergone many revisions in the route as we've gone on, because basically every section it has two different pathways that you can take, and it took us a long time to figure out which ones were actually faster. Basically, the way that routing in this game works is that Foden44 does all of the hard work. I'm streaming speedruns. Foden says to me, I think this is faster. I try it, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, I'm very blessed that we have a very competent router in the community who understands how lots of racing lines and whether it's faster to sabotage a line to take more boost pads or not. He's pretty much got this whole game cracked at the moment, and he has a very deserving world record in this category at the moment.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
much love to the glitch hunters among us and the routers. Very important. We don't hear much from them when we've got marathon trucks going on. But yeah,
No, I definitely think it's important to mention him because he is, I think, at least for my runs, and I think Nez would probably say a similar thing. Definitely sort of the backbone of the community as far as routing and skips and stuff are concerned. I mean, obviously not everything has been found by him, but I think a vast majority of the route that I do in my run is as a result of his input. So yeah, extremely thankful to everything he's done for the community so far.
Nice.
Seems like a glitchless run on a racing game would have a hard cap on the world record. It's very possible, yes. I think it might do, but we're not there yet. You know, we only started running this category about maybe a month and a half or so ago, and I just decided to hit this event up with the submission because I think it's a really sick speed game with a lot of cool speed tech. But yeah, I think the one thing about this game that prevents it from being so easily hard capped is that it does have a lot of speed tech in it, and also the control in it is very, very fine. So yeah, a game with only 3 runners in, and a game that's still in its, a category that's still in its infancy as far as speedrunning is concerned, means that yeah, we're not quite there yet, but it's very possible. And if that does happen, we'll probably just start running a different category, I imagine. This game is very conducive to lots of different categories. You got all the different speed classes for starters, which can all be separated into different categories. And then you've got WipEout, 2048, HD, and Fury, which are all in this game, which is, you know, three different games basically in the same game. And then you've got the career mode speedruns, you've got the 100% speedruns, you've got the all-track speedruns, and then me and Nez specifically have been doing a category recently, which is about 10 minutes long, and we've called it Speed Lap, which is basically you do all 10 of the tracks in this game, but you do them in Speed Lap mode, which is basically time trial mode. And it's doing one lap of each track is as fast as you possibly can. Keep in mind this is the last track in this run, so time will be coming up in probably about a minute. So yeah, just make sure that you're aware on that. 2048 is so hard. I actually see, my personal opinion, having played not all of, but the majority of HD. I haven't played any of Fury yet. But I have played HD. I think HD is a lot harder than Fury. And yeah, I agree, Kako, with the sentiment that release date doesn't matter. I think it's all about how many, basically the skill level of the people who are interested in the game and how many people are interested in the game. For example, you know, Nez says this game came out in 2017, so it's still in its infancy. However, you know, Super Mario Odyssey came out in what, 2018 that game came out, I think? And that game is already, like, not maxed obviously, but that game is already very, very optimized, just because of how much public interest there is in that game. You know, that game's got, you know, maybe 4,000 runners, whereas this one only has the 4 ever, and, you know, 3 of us are quite late adopters. It's on PS4 as well, Slurdosaurus, and we're coming up on time now.
Tournament complete.
GG.
Thank you.
Ooh, well done. That was that was non-stop.
Yeah, no, it's very brutal. I did notice someone said something about me having good chat interaction whilst also paying attention to a fast-paced run, and I would have to agree. It was very, very hard, but yeah, thanks for the GGs, everyone. What time was that? Let's have a look. 37:18. So that's what, 47 seconds off of my current PB, and until a day ago, it was 27 seconds off my current PB. So I'm pretty happy with a run that fast.
Nice.
Yeah, there's only sort of like, at least where my sum of bests are at now, there's only sort of like 30 seconds worth of improvement left in my splits until I get better splits. So the fact that I got a run that's within like a minute or so on my sum of best in a marathon, very, very happy with. Yeah, make sure you check me out and follow me if you enjoy the rolled out run or the wipeout run. Make sure you check out the wider members of the wipeout community as well, Nez and Foden, because they're great people as well. And make sure you donate lots of money to help take people off the streets, because no one deserves to live without a home, and I think that's something we can all agree on. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks for having me, and it's been really fun. Definitely one of the most fun marathon runs I've done.
I can tell you that that was a lot of fun, and I think the chat enjoyed it quite a lot as well.
Thanks,
So
chat.
everybody hold tight. You heard what the man said. Let's get some more money coming in, and let's hit it off with a bang, because we have got Killer Chair next with Broforce Arcade. Because you did it with Nez underscore, I'm going to do it too. We've got Arcade underscore mode coming up just after this intermission and a bit of an ad break. So we will see you very, very soon.